Welcome to part 2 of what we're calling the Spooky Spider Space Age side quest. We're poking around a mod. It's a very new mod. This is also kind of early mod testing. Someone mentioned that it was the kind of wave defense mod I might be interested in. It's called Eremos Prime. There are some spiders that are going to turn up somewhere, probably based on these dependencies, but it is also a space age mod. And so for that we need to go to space. Yeah, it's a new planet that you research how to get to in the space age, and so we are continuing with this base, which we are trying to get into space relatively quickly. We're about an hour and 50 minutes in. We're doing it without handcrafting. We haven't actually disabled any of the handcrafting options, so I can still just click this and accidentally kill the achievement run if we do that badly, but we're probably not going to. We have noticed that there is this turret activation delay disabled by script, and there's this little timer that goes past, so that's going to be an interesting thing to deal with later. And yeah, last time we built this base, we are just on a default settings map. We're not doing this Deathward Marathon or anything because we're testing a new mod, and we did fight a bunch of biters last time. Still worried about the only oil we have is down here, and it's not very good, but we've got some copper and coal we can go and get. I think we're going to go and get this coal and maybe also this iron, probably the coal as a priority, but being able to find some more oil will be pretty important because, okay, we don't have anything else in the queue. Let's do that as well at the same time, I guess. We are working towards the blue science. In fact, it looks like we've unlocked the ability to build blue science. We just haven't done anything about that yet. And I was going to research power armor, but this actually looks like it's unlocked after the mod planet. So that answers one of my questions about exactly how much preparation we should be doing for this mod planet. I was wondering if we were going to go up to yellow science and go there with power armor Mark II, and apparently the answer to that is no. You've got to go to the mod planet to get the power armor, and you are intended to experience the planet without it, which is super interesting. Yeah, reasons why we're not doing this in the main sequence where we already have the mech armor, which probably would just break everything. Yeah, cool. Let's find out what other ticks we want. We're going to want modules. We're going to want all the modules. Let's just bang all the modules into the queue. We did stack inserter, so I guess we're doing stack inserter capacity bonus as well. Just like make some... Actually, let's not get quality yet. Let's throw in the solar panels. No big deal. Yeah, so we've got pretty standard mall, pretty standard red and green science, labs doing a thing, one ghost lab on the end, oh well, never mind. Because this is Lazy Bastard, we do want to be mauling all of this stuff and not trying to build it by hand. And then down here we've got a whole pile of steel furnaces that we're going to use to turn this into a half lane of iron, and then this is going to be a half lane of steel, and then the same with the stone, which we're not really using yet. And we have, not enough copper mining, but all the stuff we're going to use to make the red, I guess the red chips. I was thinking about the science, but we changed which words we were going to use. Yeah, and then over here I think we're going to do, in fact, can we just use these assemblers? I think we keep this in boxes as well, because we want to be able to have, what are you doing? We want to be able to have all the stuff in the mall in the normal way. Actually, this is going to happen before, isn't it? Yeah, we need to mall everything we need for engines, but then also all the power grid stuff. And I think we are going to need 4 stacks. 4 stacks seems fine. Get rid of this turret. Let's run it around the outside of this, and then we might also be able to use this steel, this mall steel, for which I thought we had picked up coal, but we actually didn't pick up coal. Whatever, it can just keep running. Yeah, we want... are we going to need more belt if we're doing outposting stuff? Yeah, it's time to use all those resources to build blue science and military science, and then as well as that, we will need a bunch of power grid stuff, which we're going to put over here. And we are setting these belts up to be able to build engines on the outside of this as well for blue science. But I don't know if we're going to do that here. I've got... yeah, you can just have all this stuff. What are we going to need for science? Not for science, for power grid, because I think we're going to need all of that before getting it. Oh, we've also put this too far away. We have put this too far away. Okay. We're just going to move all of this closer and not even worry about it. Yeah, the other belt needs to be here if we're going to have the assemblers in the middle make things like chem plants and refineries, which we can do now. But yeah, we're going to need all of this stuff? Sure, why not? Yeah, multiple inserters in. If we are going to be building all of the blue science that we want, and you don't need steel, you need, both these guys need pipes. Yeah, if we're going to be building all of the refineries we want and all of the assemblers for blue science and things like that, we should make sure we have the power grid to do this. Where am I? What are we even doing here? You've got an input from this side. Okay, great. Trying to do an intro and narration and other things at the same time. Is 50 stone furnaces going to be enough? I think 50 stone furnaces is going to be enough. I think one stack of long-handed inserters is going to be enough. We're putting... Yeah, we did not do these undergrounds particularly well. Okay, never mind. I don't think I have stone. I should have picked up stone when we were over at, like, that smelting location. Because, yeah, we're going to need it. And then we also need to put steel on this belt, but I guess we could give you the mall steel. Yeah, whatever. Let's have 1 and 2 stacks of these guys, but that mall is going to tick over now, and we should be able to... you actually don't matter because you will be limited by furnaces. And then you are limited by the rate at which you can grab, which is fine. Okay, so we should have some amount of power grid that we need once we get this steel in here. Yeah, grab all the steel, give some of the steel to... Actually, if we're giving you a belt feed, then we will want to make sure that we limit the boxes for this assembler, otherwise we're just going to keep making assemblers, which is not necessarily what we want. Okay, so now we've got a pretty standard mall thing which will let us build the chem plants. We need to bring some stone over for the refineries. I would to also wander back over here. Do we do military science first? How much power grid do we have? We've got enough power grid to play with a bit, I think. So let's limit this to, say, 4 stacks. I wanted this stone. And, oh yeah, we also wanted fuel for the patch steel, but I guess we're not doing that yet either. Yeah, mostly it's just try and get this mall turning over, drive through here. Do you have... I think what we do is we go, you get an input here, we'll have another box, we'll move the power pole, you can have all of that stone, and now we can put, say, batteries on the inside of this line and not really worry about it. Okay, so we need to do most of a blue science thing. Maybe we do a military science thing first? Do we have the coal to make grenades for the military science? As in, are we mining enough coal? Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. We also don't have a lot of space here. I was wondering, I guess we might be doing the blue science over that side after all, because there isn't a whole lot of space here. But I think we can... There's a belt here, onto which we could put both the military and blue science if we got it. But the blue science might be running through in this way, so... Yeah, let's figure out how to put some military science there. We have... Looks like most of the parts we need for this. We shouldn't need to handcraft too much more. This iron we did want to be able to use for the mall and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I think we're going to worry about that later. Maybe we should also do... I think we're going to do a red ammo thing because we can. This should be... Okay, we're going to move... Are we crowding ourselves? We're crowding ourselves a little, aren't we? And then also... This is also a good line to be making grenades on. If we could put more coal on this belt here. So let's also... That's not really going to fit, is it? Where can we... Oh, here's the coal. And here's also the grenades that... Okay, so we're just going to have these patch grenades, and later we're going to have... If we have a splitter on this belt of coal into here, we can make sure that this is a full lane of coal, which means we can then move grenades down here. Which means if these two are... Yeah, if we have... kind of planning all of this, 4 grenades here, we can have a belt through here of the wall and red ammo. This is getting worse because this was going to be the red ammo in here. We have a new recipe for red ammo which is a little bit cheaper. I think it's still 3-to-1 yellow ammo to red ammo. Yeah, this is definitely getting worse because we need to get the wall and red ammo in here. Like so. We need to get the wall in here as well, but then the other thing that we are forcing ourselves to do is because we don't think this space is going to be enough for building the red chips, we need to move all the resources over here, which is going to cost us another 3 or 4 belts through the middle as well. So that's all going to be a disaster. We're not going to worry about it. Okay, let's build some stuff. Ammunition is happening. Do we need... if we're also doing stack insertion stuff, that should be fine. I guess we are doing these grenades here like so is going to be fine, and then military science can be here, and then we need to figure out how to get wall on military science. Okay, and then we need to figure out how to get wall on this belt. Here is stone and steel. You know what, you can move... We've got space to move you over here, which I like quite a lot. Except how are we also getting... Because we could put the steel on the inside of this belt as well, and also branch it off here. Yeah, maybe we do that as well. Maybe we have... This is all going to end up... I know we're going to take the steel over this way. Yeah, we are going to turn this one into wall and have... I don't like that at all. We're gonna move... Because the question was, what's going to be on the other side of this belt? And these two don't need to exist. We're going to filter for steel here. Actually, if we're doing that, then we should be doing it with a splitter because we want bulk steel over the other side as well. Okay, changing my mind again. This is going to in fact be the wall, which means we want to put this guy back on the steel furnaces because we do want to have some amount of furnaces. Cool, decisiveness, things that are great. We also don't have... Oh no, we can have wall in a box if we do something like this, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, put all these steel furnaces back in here, go back to 4 stacks, it's going to be fine. Do I have... I've also got a pile of wall. Okay, and we are running out of things to research if we don't have the blue or military science, which are the things we're trying to build at the moment anyway. Yeah, okay, so now we've got this belt of steel and stone, which we can only just sneak out of this thing. Actually, if we run this slightly wider, then we can have an inserter here, which is adding the steel, which is already exactly where we want to go, so that's pretty nice. We've got wall on this belt, for which we wanted to be able to go wall on the left. Wall on the left. Yeah, this is turning into a disastrous sushi base, which probably should not be surprising anyone. Yeah, there's a bit of iron in there as well. I think we want to try and make green chips over here so that there's less stuff we are trying to move over to the other side of the base where we want to be making the red chips and such like. But that means that we can't go... Okay, no, this is going to have to move to here, so we can get the iron out this way to make some green chips with before moving it over to the other side to make the red chips for blue science. Okay, overall we have a nasty way of hacking all of this nonsense in, of which we're going to have to be... Yes, some of these... It's fine, normal things are happening. This is what every base looks like when it's automated, right? This is the experience that everyone has. Okay, so that should be red ammo. We do have... We actually... Did we only do 4 in military science? We did. This is a whole lot more red ammunition than we actually need for military science. So, why did we connect this belt? Oh, we're still just making the furnaces and the walls. All that is fine. Okay. Military science comes out here. It's going to go into this box. We are going to take it out of a box with a fast inserter, and again worry about the kind of disasters we are planning for the rest of our base. But then also we want... Where can we do this? I guess we can do this here. We have a surplus of red ammo, and so we're going to be using some red ammo for combat because we're making it. And yeah, we've got some military science, and it wants to end up on this belt. Military science goes in there, which is cool, because now we can, yeah, fire up the landmines research, fire up the flamethrower research once we get around to having all of these. I don't really want to do train stuff, but we might end up doing fluid wagon stuff just for the oil, because, yeah, we still have not found the oil on the map that we want. Yeah, so that's all... Probably... Oh, yeah, because these chests have got to fill up. Okay, so all of that is by assumption... Okay, it's not quite fine, is it? This has to connect. And we don't need to box up that end because we've already got one there. Okay, and then other things we wanted include... Do we have... We don't have any red belt being made at the moment, which I am tempted to do... because we are talking ourselves into needing a whole lot of this stuff. So red, yeah, okay, let's swap these recipes around, relimit these boxes, give me all of these back. You are now the undergrounds. What are we doing? You are now the splitters. We have more splitters than we need, which is fine, because that means that here we can have a place to be making red undergrounds. Oh yeah, that's why we got these things. And then also we would like actually to have more gears manufacture here, because this is also going to be just a way that we continue to use the copper, of which we have a vast amount. Oh, you don't want things from here, you want things from here. Gears, plate, places to put gears, and the hope of this is, yeah, we're gonna need red belt for outposting and I guess spaceships and stuff like that, but also I wanted some number of red undergrounds so that we can... You're making stuff, everyone's making stuff, it's fine. Yeah, so that we can figure out how to... Maybe, is this gonna be an easier... We're gonna have to jump the copper and the iron out of this. Now, if we're making probably the... Yeah, the grid is still fine. Okay, we can have this half belt of copper make us a bunch of green chips. And then we also want... can we... we haven't done this particularly well. Yeah, we have a different place where we were thinking about putting this iron, but if we put this iron here with... Oh yeah, because yeah. This iron is one of the places that we were thinking about getting the iron out for the green chips, of which I noticed that these guys have never actually been doing anything. So that's the reason why we're short on green chips. Cool, good job. Landmine tech is going. We wanted undergrounds, and I guess give me some of these undergrounds as well, just to try and bridge some of these gaps. Okay, the goal today is... Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of that. We are probably going to drop quality modules into the queue as well, because we probably will be doing something with quality, maybe. Yeah, the goal today was to be getting to space, yeah, to get bots to get into space, to do some, not, yeah, I don't think all of the setup, I don't think we're going to be able to do all the space science. Oh, this actually worked out really well. You prioritize into the green chips that we're going to use. 5 on green chips, maybe? 5 on copper. Yeah, we do have the stack insertion bonus, but we're not going to worry about it. Yeah, we're going to try and have the goal of getting into space today and also having bots, and we'll see how that works out. Is there going to be... Maybe there's going to be copper left after this construction, but also this happens to be copper on the correct side of the belt, which allows us to have this belt of copper and green chips, and now we've got... This is going to be almost the only belt that we need to try and squirrel through the base to get to the blue sites. And if we have... if you turned... What counts as the far side of the belt for... Are you putting stuff on the correct side of the belt, basically? Oh, actually, we don't need to do that. We can make all of this different and worse. Have another inserter here, and now we've got... we can't power it there. Now we've got another box that we can be building up red ammo, which is nice. I don't think I want nearly as much of this blue ammo, and the reason for that is we still need to get the steel through as well. Gross. But we have at least one position here where we can push the steel through, but we could also... Okay, so we can use... No, this belt has stone on it as well, doesn't it? Okay, let's fix that by going... Filter for steel on the left, so now all the stone ends up here, so we can have a box that also enjoys having more stone in it, because that's going to be important. Then we let the steel through. This steel is actually on the correct side of the belt and will always be on the correct side of the belt, yeah. To go with the yellow ammo into the red chips, and then if we underground this copper from here... we do actually need to get this copper this far. I'm trying to figure out if we can put a splitter here. But then this would need to be on... We can actually do that, can't we? We can have this here, like so. And then have a splitter here so the yellow ammo and the steel goes this way. And then a splitter, a side loading here to make sure we only get the steel, which is now also on the same side of the belt as we lined it up through there. This is not getting better. This is in fact disastrous spaghetti, because the thing we were trying to do is figure out how this copper and green chips gets through here, and I think at this point it's... Yeah, we just spaghetti it through in a different place. It's gonna be fine. Do I have anything... Yeah, this is a whole lot easier to spaghetti this stuff through. In fact, this is where the steel belt should have been. The other thing we do want to do... The steel was already going over there. Okay. Yep, change of plans again, because that's apparently what we're doing today. This belt here no longer exists, which is cool, because it means that this can be... neither of those buttons. That button was the one we wanted. Okay, steel through here, and then I think we flip around these inserters a bit so that we can go underground from... We would need this much space, and then we would need copper here, and then... Yeah, okay, fine, cool, great. So now we also still have the steel in this, not that way, this way. This is not too bad, is it? Yeah, because we... Wait, why did I wanted this belt of copper. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. We can... Oh, we can no longer do it here because we've made this nasty. Okay, the thing we wanted was to be able to get surplus copper from this line here. Prioritize that into the red science build. Yeah, we wanted surplus copper from here, topping up this copper line. Okay, we've made this much worse than we needed to. This temporary buffer can get out the way. I've got some amount of coal for this patch steel. Okay, fine. Something was still busted down here. Oh yeah, that's what it was. We got rid of the power pole build, which we will still need. We're going to put it back. We don't have it yet, but we might like it. Yeah, this one was definitely the better coils assembler to be using because it's the chips that are stopped sometimes, whereas, you know, whatever. It's going to be fine. Okay. We have... Where is the surplus? Is there any surplus of this iron? We're using it for the chips, we're using it for the ammunition, we're using it for the grenades. I don't actually think we have surplus over there. I think this is going to be the iron we use for engines. We need to get this belt of steel and this belt of red science stuff through. We can rearrange these things because that's a super cool thing to be spending our time doing. You also get to not be there. Here is... Okay, it's right here. In that case, we're going to duck under this other one, and that is connected, and we've now automated the steel feed, and we've got a little steel buffer, and this other mall steel, which maybe we do something with. We're not going to really worry about having too much steel at this point. Okay. We also wanted to just spend a bit of time making sure that we got everything we needed to... Yeah, that we got all the power grid built in the mall, and at this point we probably should have 20 of these guys, and yeah, some number of... Oh, we already had a bunch of them, that's fine. We already had enough of these as well. Pipes, why are we... Oh yeah, because you're still only getting... Yeah, whatever, okay, it's fine. Okay. We have some mining drills, we have... I'm gonna need more belt. The belt for the mall is down here, so we're gonna grab that. We are going to briefly check on the cloud because we're not quite... Oh, we found more oil. That's really good. That's kind of within pipe range, but we might still rail it. I don't know. We need to go and get this coal and bring a couple of belts of coal in for the new power grid that we're about to build, and then research a technology with military science. Do we want to take power from there? Let's take power from here. Drive through these trees. Yeah, we're going to outpost some of this coal so that we can build more power grid and then make some plastic with the coal and then also do explosives and landmines, stuff like that as well. And I think we are at a point where... Oh yeah, and I also wanted radar. My last radar is going to live over here. And are we... Yeah, we are getting super close to the point of not having anything else to research because the blue science build is not existing yet. In fact, even the petrochem doesn't exist. In fact, we are still outposting the coal that we wanted to be building the power grid and the coal to enable the petrochem research. Oh well. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in building less than, or at least outposting less than 2 belts of stuff from any outpost at this point. We're going to drag 2 belts of this coal back. How many is this? 40? Yeah, we're going to have a couple more here, but we're not really going to worry about it. We'll probably come back with more miners later. I think we also just don't bother defending this at all. I did not check whether or not we had splitters before heading out here, and it turns out we do, which is good, but I almost did not check. Yeah, there's going to be another one from over here, isn't there? Okay, so I think we drag back 3 belts worth of coal, which means don't want the car, just because that's how much we're going to put there later, and then we've got quite a long way to go. Do we want to take this iron, because there is a little iron outpost here that we could also just tap at the same time for more iron, but I don't think we really super need it. Are there any other techs we want? I guess let's get defender robots, let's get bullet damage, all these things are going to be helpful. Let's just finish off these red and green techs, because why not? But we did build a little more than we really needed. Yeah, we're not going to get that iron yet. If we need that iron later, we might. It's going to be I think maybe that's the iron we use for steel when we get around to having bots build steel for us. And then I think it looks like there's a gap between, yeah, trying to look at the minimap and drag belts at the same time, not working particularly well. I think there's a gap between the forest and the starter lake into which we can drive these 3 belts of coal. And then I'm also realizing my misplay wasn't running out of belt at that position. My misplay was presuming that all of the coal wants to end up at this part of the smelt face. But I guess when we are expanding into purple science, we will be... Oh, we're not even fully mining all of this coal yet. Let's get on that. Yeah, when we are getting into purple science, we will need a lot more coal for the more plastic, for the more red chips. I don't feel like picking those up now, and we are talking about having bots this episode, so we're just going to have things for them to do when they get here. Yeah, I wanted all of this belt. I'm going to get all of that belt. I have everything I need to build the grid when that coal gets here. I also wanted the belt to have this stuff just arriving in here like so. Let's do something a bit spicy and prioritize that coal away from the power grid, which is a little bit aggressive. Mostly to make sure there was space on the other belt for that other coal that we were providing to arrive. Okay. Build. I don't have pipes. Do I have iron? I have some iron. Okay, so I have a way of getting the pipes that I will need. Do I have offshore pumps? No. Also, do not handcraft the offshore pumps, because we could, but we would rather not. In fact, we can afford to handcraft 2 offshore pumps without killing the run, but also we will not. We will use our lazy assemblers for that. Or, like, rather use our busy assemblers because we are lazy. Okay, where is this power grid going? Oh yeah, and remember when we said we didn't have the offshore pumps? We need to do that as well. Okay, these 2 assemblers, one of these things can give me pipes, kick all of that in, and then if this assembler is going to make me offshore pumps, I also need some gears that I also don't have. So, we're going to first make some gears. And we have the quality... We have the quality research now because there's an additional... Where is offshore pumps? Here's offshore pumps. Yeah, there's an additional quality selection that we have to do each time. 3... Yeah, we'll get 3 of those, and then we'll turn the rest of this into more pipes. The rest of my iron into more pipes. Okay, we have... Actually, we're going to put them down here. Pipe goes here. I think we want to use this space for more power grid and also for the petrochem, which is a little bit of a shame. There's not a whole lot of space here. Maybe we could do more grid down here. I would rather not. Could we? Maybe we could put the petrochem over here. Yeah, I think we have to leave the wreck, don't we? It's just not the done thing to also blast the wreck. So this happens to be in the correct position if one of these belts, and I think we're going to take the middle belt, even though the middle belt looks like the middle belt isn't just deprioritized, the middle belt is broken. So let's go fix that just quickly. Oh no, the middle belt should be. Oh, because we needed this splitter here, and then we're going to have, yeah, additional belts of coal here as well. Okay, so now the middle belt should have the priority we expect it to, so all of that is fine. We've done them all. We've done the military science. Yeah, this is... In fact, we could just... Are we bringing... Yeah, we are bringing all of this coal on, aren't we? I think this first one is going to wander generally in this direction for the petrochem. But then these... these two? Up priority right. And then don't leave the car behind. The split, it doesn't really matter, it's just because we've kind of messed up the belt delay. Where is... How much of this can we fit before the wreck? We can fit exactly this much. And then the power poles can continue under the wreck, which is nice. Oh, because we didn't flip these guys. Cool. Some of these guys are going to need pipes. Going to need... we did actually already connect this, didn't we? So as soon as we drop in these inserters, we are successfully extending the grid. Okay. Yeah, sure, why not? We've got that space. We're going to continue to use it as well. Let's drop in these others over here. And we could have... Oh, we've got weird power pole nonsense. Okay, whatever. Things we are not really going to worry about. Yeah, we also haven't really defended in any direction other than... Oh, we can get these inserters back. Haven't really defended in any direction other than the oil, which is not getting attacked. So that is not a thing we're going to be super concerned about because, you know, default settings, but it is a thing we should maybe feel bad about. Okay, so this is going to go... priority onto the left side, and then we're just going to dump any other coal on the right side. And this should give us power grid from outposted coal supporting... Vic goes to this far, yeah, outposted coal supporting the starter patch coal that we are using for... Yeah, all of that looks like it should be doing what we want. Okay, power grid extended. This one here does not exist, but we need a couple more steam engines in there, and we've got a ton of grid that we are not using, and we've got... I think this is going to go... One of these is going to be smelting, and the others is going to be for plastic, and I haven't really decided which yet. Let's look at the tech menu again in case there's anything... Oh, we did bullet damage 3. Okay, let's just... Yeah, all of these are going to go really slowly, because we need to get the blue science online, but haven't. Oh, well, never mind. Are we putting more grid in here? Where would we be putting grid next after that? And this radar has not quite done all the work that I wanted it to. And we also still... I mean, it's a nice peaceful default settings map, but I'm still not really seeing the extra oil we wanted, because this oil is, you know, not a huge amount. Whatever. We're just going to not start slapping refineries here, because we don't have the refineries with us, but that's okay, they're in the mall. The other thing that's in the mall is... Okay, that's more coal than we wanted, never mind. The little hand-fed steel thing, which we're going to continue to refuel. Which is... Yeah, some of these guys are complaining, it's probably fine. You guys just stay fueled. We should have... Yeah, all 2 stacks of these, all of that stuff. I've got things in my inventory that I don't want, but then I also do want both kinds of pipe. Do we have... We do not have underground pipe manufactured anywhere. An interesting decision. Okay, another source of more pipe here then. Regular pipe, underground pipe. Bots are going to enjoy having all of this stuff when we get around to it. Actually, just one box of each. We can put this in the mall later as... Yeah, in the lodging mall later as well. Yeah, we're going to have this go around the correct direction. Okay, maybe we will come back to needing more of those later. Then... Yeah, is it... This iron line, I don't know what we're doing with it. Oh, it's eventually going to be making grid chips, isn't it? Oh, well. We should have... Okay, let's grab more of these things. That's a lot of petrochem. That's a large petrochem build we can now do that we definitely do not have the oil for. We'll worry about that at some point later, and if we're starting the oil here, and I was just going to start grabbing refineries and just start putting these things here, then yeah, we do not have... Wait, was that? There's still a confirmation dialogue, even though there are no valid qualities because it's a fluid recipe. Oh well, no big deal, I guess. Yeah, we do not have the oil to support a build nearly this big. We're going to blast through this buffer super fast. Hopefully those poles aren't going to be in the way later. But we have only 1 tank here, 1 tank on... No more tanks with me. Do not have the parts to build tanks, so I guess we're not doing that. Yeah, let's... We're going to have to worry about how much oil we've got later, but we're also not going to yet. Is this in the correct position to just start putting plastic on a belt here? I think it is. I think this works out. So this is going to be enough for half a belt of plastic, which we... I think we do have the oil and... No, we have the iron and copper to make blue science out of that, but we don't have... Yeah, we still will run into problems trying to make the amount of... flip this. Somewhere down here there's going to be a water pipe. Yeah, we are going to be able to make some amount of blue science and then run out of... Oh, we need 2 of these, don't we? Do we put some of this on... Yeah, I think what we do is... this is gross. We have one of these guys... it's going to be super bad, isn't it? More... I mean, this is going to make it awkward to extend plastic later, but whatever, never mind. We are not super concerned. We're just going to slap in a thing. Okay, so we've got... a place where... Let's connect this one up a similar way as well. Okay, we've got kind of a plan for explosives, which we can then turn into landmines, which is going to be a big deal. we're going to throw that belt down there. We need to get water in here as well. Other things that we are not super concerned about right now. We need to put steel in this box, which I currently do not have with me, but never mind. Okay. We need to go and get the steel. This is lined up so that we can do water into the petrochem later when we get around to advanced oil cracking. So that should get our sulfur online. If we could get... Oh, we do need the input inserters over there as well, for the explosives. We need to go and get some steel, then we can have landmines. I am interested in seeing if the turret startup delay also affects landmines. That one's going to be interesting for pushing... Oh, we had another belt of steel that we could have also grabbed from that we didn't. Oh well. We've got another belt of stuff that we need to force through the middle of the existing build, which is also going to be fine. This is enough space, as it turns out. Good times. We could also have solar panels in here as well, couldn't we? I think we're going to run this underground and then just put the stuff in 2 boxes like so. Yep. I almost handcrafted landmines myself, just shift click into the landmines, and that would have been pretty bad. Do I have anything you guys want? No. Okay. I've still got coal in my inventory. I would rather not. We've got the output inserters. We've got the sulfur guy. I think we can also put acid. If we run this pipe this way, then we can have a thing making acid here, but then we need to bring iron. I'm not going to worry about that yet. Oh, wait. Things we wanted to check. Do the landmines have a startup delay? No. They just have the regular arming period. So that's super great. We can now go and do some landmine pushes. That's going to be fantastic. Let's go and get this belt of sulfur and plastic and turn it into red chips. With everything else we've got here, there isn't... No, there isn't space in here. I was wondering if... Because if we had the plastic here, we've got the copper here, we've got the green chips. There isn't really space to be doing the red chips in there, which... Yeah, we've still got... We can get any other belt through here. It's going to be fine. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where everything is nasty spaghetti that will eventually work out. How are we going to get this over here? The science is slow, but we kind of always expected that. We built quite a large red and green science that was, yeah, larger than we needed, but it does mean that we've got all the research done that we want to. Okay, so this is a belt of sulfur and plastic, which is almost everything we need, because I guess we are building this blue science in a very normal place relative to the mall, but that also means there's a belt of blue science that has to reconnect back here as well. He said planning where that belt is going to go. Okay, that's not how that works. Because we dragged this belt, I was looking at this the wrong direction. Okay. So we have a plan for how I need to get this. Okay, so that side loading is going to happen in the way that it needs to. If we can just put the blue science on that belt, then we should have a plan, a thing that's happening. So, how many of these do we want? I think we want, if we do 24 on blue science, give me the more long-handed inserters, please, these guys. If we do 24 on blue science, that's going to be the same number. That's going to balance into the red and green. We are going to run into the problem that we don't have the red chips to support this, but also whatever. And then where is... Yeah, I think we still just run this through here. Is a mess. Don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. Filter out plastic on on the other side. And now we've got a place where sulfur can go. These guys are going to run... Yeah, we could have done those further back, couldn't we? Never mind. Here is plastic. Here are the green chips. You guys are going to get out the way as well. So the green chips want to be on the left-hand side and just run straight in there. It's going to be fine. And then here we've got a place where we can have, I don't know how many of these we want on coils, but we're going to do this number on coils, which is going to be enough for a full belt, which we don't need, do we? We also don't need all that many. We need that many outputs. We don't need that many inputs. I think we only need 4 of these on coils based on how many assemblers we talked about having. So that's going to be all we do. So coils go in here. Sure. Okay. Red chips over here. And then we want to do 24 of each of these. Yeah, that was the numbers I talked myself into, wasn't it? If we do 24 of blue science, that's going to balance against the red and green that we have. 24 on the red chips, I think, will balance against the number of coils assemblers we just made. Roboports are still going to be a thing. Probably we've faffed around for so long that we have enough steel sitting around that is not going to be a problem. We do have to be a little bit careful about where we put these inserters for these. Yeah, cool. Again, here, because we did them all without really thinking about how all that worked. Okay. And then the same here. We should definitely do the red chips first, shouldn't we? Because those are the ones that we actually really want to be running. If we have a whole pile of red chips, we will be much happier about stuff. So let's go like double inserter use filter for red chips, which is going to prioritize whatever's on this belt into the science build, which we like, and then this belt of blue science and red chips we can have. Yeah, we can have the blue science head towards the build that was okay other side. Already heading towards the silo. Silo? We are ahead of ourselves talking about the silo. Okay, so these boxes will get anything that's not blue chips. So we could actually also sushi modules onto this if we wanted. I don't know if we want to do that. I think the most... I was going to do blue science insertion just from the other side, but apparently we're doing that as well. Okay, we are up to the position of pretty much having run out of the other red and green science we want. We have some blue science online. Oh well, some of these, yeah, these are the weird engine setups, aren't they? Okay, from here we are back to normal, air quotes normal. I have not thought about exactly how many of these we have already built, because we said we wanted 24. Power poles somewhere. Gross, gross, gross. Okay. 16, so we want another 8 of these guys. And there should be, especially once we get the prod mods in the blue science, there should be a... Is that the 24 we wanted? 24. Once we get the prod mods in the blue science, there should be a little bit of red chip surplus for things like the modules, because we want those as well. We also definitely want speed modules in the pump jacks. The pump jacks are going to be sad, and then we probably are going to need to do a... Why did we do it like that? We had other inserters that we were building over the other side as well, never mind. Yeah, probably going to need to do a fluid wagon for oil thing. Do we do that next? We probably are, because we haven't been really buffering a huge amount of crude oil. We only had one tank at the base and then another at the patch, which we are almost certainly running down because we had a large amount of oil being built. Oh well. Okay, you guys also get your outputs. What are we doing? Why don't I have mechanics? Okay. That's going to be the build that we wanted. We are not actually short of plastic. Exciting. I've got some coils I don't want in my inventory. Advanced oil processing is running. We don't have any red chips in this buffer because we are just straight prioritizing it into red chips. Is there a spot where we can be making modules? What if we did this? Okay, slightly less mall steel, of which I still have a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, we're going to throw some speed mods in here, because what we really want are the speed modules for the pump jack. So you're going to buffer one stack of green chips, and then we're going to, once the blue science gets all the red chips it wants, put them into modules. Actually, we probably should be prioritizing. Yeah, we need, why? We need to get some of these blue chips, some of these blue modules into the pump jack so that we can get more oil out. And then we are, mostly running. We're doing the oil processing. We are not getting all that much copper past these green chips, which was also to be expected, but we're topping it up from the other copper, so that's fine. Okay, I think we want... What did I want this iron for? I didn't want the iron. I wanted this steel. I wanted to take that steel over to the landmines and get more landmines and blast that base to the northeast. That empty pipe is kind of what we expected, because we are kind of sad about everything to do with this. Yeah, if we give this guy some iron and the sulfur, then we are also going to be able to do something with batteries near the closer to where the chips and coils are being made over here, where we've got iron and copper. Like over here, maybe we do a batteries thing. There's a little bit of, yeah, there's copper there. I've got some stuff that the labs want, and then are we just okay? Mining prod 2, because this is only boosting stack and soda. We don't care about stack and soda. Because working towards the bots is going to be super cool and is the thing we want to do today, but I think we've got some other things we need to worry about first, including, yeah, those guys not getting... I guess we're putting all the green chips in a box, aren't we? That's why we don't have green chips getting to the end of the red chips. We would like these biters to not be here. And landmine pushers still work fine in this mod. So that's nice. We then... was the next thing to do to secure... Oh, here's oil. So we could have one train station hitting... yeah, collecting from both of these sets of wells, which would give us another 2,000%-ish oil, which does sound like it's going to be all we need. That would be sufficient. And then, other than that, I think we are going to try and bring it over with a train, are we? Do we bother training any of this, or do we just pipe it? I'm going to think about that while we... Oh, these are new enemies. These are spiders. They are still vulnerable to landmines, it looks like. So these new enemies are also turning up on Novice. On Novice, they don't seem to be doing anything different. Maybe they are mostly a cosmetic change, but if we did want that oil, then we needed those biters to not be there, and whatever spider friends we've got, we'll no doubt see more of them later when we get to the mod planet. I just want to sweep over here and see whether or not there was any other biters on the other patch of oil, and then may as well also check... Oh yeah, several of these nests we are polluting, and in fact we don't have any defenses in those positions, so I think we're going to blast those as well. And then... Oh no, I don't need to blitz these nests yet. Those biters get to live. I don't think we worry about... Actually, I think we do go back to... We do go back to the base to get the speed modules that we want to put in the pump jacks. That's going to be pretty important. I don't think we worry about doing things with trains. I think we just worry about... okay, if we're going to do this with pump jacks, then we should have ourselves some pump jacks. Okay, we're not going to do that here either. Yeah, we want these speed modules. At some point, if we can get the green chips out, all that will fill up. We do want, I guess, over here... Yeah, you can now make me pump jacks. We have an achievement for making... We have an achievement for making red circuits at some rate, which is very exciting. You're not going to be making me pump jacks? Okay. Do I want the steel for landmines? I don't think we do. I think we do want... Yeah, we want all the stuff. We want speed mods for the pump jacks. We want prod mods for the green ships and the gears and all that kind of stuff. We also... Yeah, all that mining kind of slowing down, not a huge concern, because we do have other places that we are already tapping. Oh, remember when we wanted to tap the rest of this copper? This could be why various buildings are complaining about not having enough... Yeah, why the things like the green chips were complaining. Because we never actually built the rest of this copper. So let's just do that quickly. I guess this goes on the right. And then this one merges. Or something. Okay. That's not even this. There's even a little more copper down here. So we're going to grab this as well. You get in there. We need this belt to go... Yeah, I remembered that we were not mining all that copper, and then later completely forgot that we were not mining all that copper. No big deal. Somewhere in here... This belt continues through. I'm pretty sure we're still polluting those bases to the west as well, and we pretty much need to get this done before they get attacked. And as we say that, we are already getting attacked and not having dealt with that. So, do we even leave turrets here? I don't know if we leave turrets here. No. Missed. There we go. So the nest is far enough away that we are barely polluting it. Oh wait, did we... Yeah, we're just going to go... We're going to continue with the rest of... Do we want this iron in the base yet? We will want it soon, but not yet. You know what, we're going back to that... We're going back there anyway, because we want to blast the base that's attacking us. Before that... There's the other base that we were also going to go and blast, which has since arrived in this set of attacks. Yep. Turret activation delay. These guys are running out as well. There's no other biters around here. These are just the... Yeah, this turret activation delay is pretty significant. They killed... we want iron on one side, yes. Yeah, this is gonna, it's gonna somewhat impact our ability to turret push. How do we get that coal running down here? Ah, when we were doing the mixed mining and then we rebuilt the belt, and then the items that were on the ground ended up on the belt and being moved into the iron. Yeah, the coal that was on the ground went into the iron lane. Sure, fine. Okay. All of that, I mean, this is probably just a plastic problem at the moment. Probably. I hope it's just a plastic problem. Yeah, plastic and sulfur problem. Fine. Cool. Great. Mining productivity will also help with the amount of oil that we will be getting out of these pump jacks. We happen to get exactly the number we needed. That was unexpected. Never mind. Okay, so this base is attacking us. We need to destroy them. Is this an expand? No, that's just forest absorption. We don't need to worry about that. These guys again. Yeah, okay. I thought about leaving some turrets over there. Decided we were going to go to landmine, secure everything instead. Didn't get around to that particularly quickly. There's still only one biter, I think. So I think we are happy wandering down here and just dealing with these guys first. Okay, there's a rock. So all of that is dealt with and fine. Because we're over here, we're going to deal with these guys as well. And we're losing... Yeah, we're just losing little bits and pieces. That wasn't what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Okay. All of that is dealt with. Those landmines we could do something with later. We're not going to. We're just going to leave them there for a bit. I think this base also needs to go. But if it attacks anything, it will be attacking the oil, which does have guns, and it's still a reasonable way away, so we're not really going to be worried about it. Let's leave some guns here. It's just one dude. And we have rebuilt all the damage that they did. Okay. A couple of guns there, not really concerned. If we do take an expansion from this side, that could hurt us a bit. So we're still just going to swing through what's on the other side of the cliff. Yeah, we now have most of the ticks we need to be getting... got all that stuff done. Yeah, getting all of the... Oh, there's more oil on this side. We are protected from there. Yeah. So which of the... Is this oil... That oil is better, but is further away then? I think we're still doing these two. Yeah. Cloud is pretty safe. Mining is happening. Do we go and build the rest of the engines and the advanced oil? Actually, building the advanced oil processing is the thing we should do next, isn't it? That is the thing that's going to get us more value out. And I was wondering about building the construction robots. Oh, running out of belt. Okay, that's fine. Doing the construction robots before going and getting that other oil expansion. Yeah, advanced oil cracking is going to be the first thing. But I don't know that we're going to have the red ships. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to have the red ships to get the number of roboports we want if we don't go and boost our oil processing first. So that's going to be the output What else do we want? Oh yeah, worker speed. Worker speed, pretty important for bots, and then I think we just work towards things that are going to get us into space, because remember we said the goal for today was to be doing a better job of getting into space. Okay, a number of those inputs are broken. We need more underground pipe. Do we have chem plants? We do have the chem plants. To swing back through the mall and pick up the various things we need. Yeah, we have currently a plastic problem. We put all of these underground pipes over here. Do we want... Yeah, give me the pump jacks. We needed a couple more of these guys as well. There was something else I was coming back for that I don't remember what it was. Was it belt? I am also out of belt. And we are still... Yeah, we're still limited by plastic, worrying about how to get enough red chips to make the roboports that we straight up could have now. We've got all the rest of that done. Yeah, we have all of the tech we need. Oh wait, we've done an interesting thing because we didn't leave the space. We can struggle to figure out how we're going to get the heavy oil out of these things, which is unfortunate, and I don't feel like rebuilding all of them, which means that... Okay, we're going to have to do... I would have to redo all of the oil pipes as well, but the light oil is actually the only one that can run across the face of the refineries, because the gas and heavy oil will get in each other's way. So that's... oh, tanks. Tanks are a thing that we are going to want. Do we have... We've got some steel here. We have a bit of iron there. That's going to be what we need to just slap one of these guys somewhere, have it make us some tanks. Not worry about it, it's fine. Almost got stuck there. What is this? Yeah, we have to redo all of that differently now, don't we? Cool, great. That is definitely going to be in the way. Okay. Things that everyone likes. Having to fully reorganize all of your petrochem when you unlock advanced oil processing because you lined up the refineries badly the first time. So that's super enjoyable. Yeah, we also still don't have anywhere near the amount of oil we need for this, but that's a thing we can also deal with later. You are going to run all the way over here. You're going to give us a tank here. So now we've got one tank of light oil. I'm actually going to pull this back a bit so we can have 2 tanks of light oil. And somehow we need to get... Yes, this is going to be gross. Especially if I keep forgetting which of these sections wants to be which kind of thing. Actually, yeah, this... The gas can come out straight, can't it? And the gas could actually be just one direct pipe all the way across. Things that are gross and will continue to feel gross. Hey, you know what we need for robots is lubricant. We are now making lubricant. That's very exciting. Here's a place where the lubricant can go back to the base. Aren't we doing well? Yeah, let's figure out where the rest of... this is actually not the right place at all, is it? This can continue, but... we will need this underground path to get here. And then all of this is now in the way of... Yeah, we do actually need the heavy oil to be in a different place. With these refineries because of where we put the plastic. So that's a super cool move as well. Things are going great. Okay, and then I think we do bother cracking immediately because we don't have... Yeah, I think we're otherwise going to be worried about running out of the resources that... Yeah, running out of oil. I think we're running now. Everyone is running, but just because we have this buffer of crude oil that was sitting around for a bit that we kind of didn't do anything with. Okay, how many... We have 10, but then we also set this up over here, so that can't really change either. Okay, so that's going to be 3 on... how are we even going to make all of this fit? Cool, let's just change everything when we get around to doing this. Okay, whatever. If we do... Is this going to be... Yeah, this is going to work more or less, isn't it? We're going to need 3 on the heavy oil cracking. And then we're going to need... I don't know how many more, but more on the light oil cracking. For which we can flip some... Not flip like that, flip like this. And so now we've got kind of a kludge of space age mirrored stuff and also non-mirrored pre-space age stuff. Now that actually needs to stay, doesn't it? Cool. Going super well. Things we are enjoying a lot. At least we're not getting attacked. It's not space age, so we're not going to have to worry too much about that. Yeah, these guys... Just going to move both of those guys. It's going to be fine. Water can get through here. Water cannot get through this one. We can flip like so. We'll go to space today, he said. It'll be fine. Quick adventure. That's always how it works, isn't it? Water here. Okay. If you guys are not processing it because we don't have water, because we cut that. Okay. And you still don't have water because we didn't fix this part, and then we just need this to get into the gas, which is maybe pretty easy? Yeah, that's going to be fine. And then I think we circuit condition all of these machines together. And then also all of these machines together to talk to this tank. And then we can have an electrical network that does nothing by itself other than jump these signals over, so that we can disable all of this cracking if we have a surplus of, say, 2,000. Yeah, sure. And then give that... yeah, we changed the recipe as well. I just wanted to move the circuit condition. We did not move the circuit condition. This wants to be light oil, and hopefully none of these fluid networks got... How did we... because they voided the light oil that was in their... Yeah, they were trying to void the light oil, and that was the only pipe they had. Heavy cracking to light oil does not have disabled by control behavior. That is what we wanted, because we wanted to make sure that we always have enough heavy oil here to make the lubricant and enough light oil to do other light oil things we want with. Okay, all of that is more or less done. Let's throw these in because we can, and so we've just passed the 3-hour mark. We should have more gas coming in here now. We should have a source of acid that we can do something with. Do I have... I don't have any steel or any iron to hand feed over here. I've got probably enough landmines. I don't have a huge number of landmines. I could definitely have more landmines, but the only thing we are landmine limited by is... oh wait, no, we've been very silly. We never actually gave you an automatic coal source for the explosives. We just hand-fed this coal, and it was enough to get by. So now we should have more of that coal. That's great. Okay, engines time, I guess. Here's some acid. Here's some lubricant. We need to try and get some bots done, because that's the rest of the trajectory of where we're trying to go, and in particular trying to go today. I did say that here is a decent place for... Yeah, how are we going to get... I guess there's also this... Yeah, there's this copper, which is just being used for red science, which is not a particularly high demand of copper. So if we had... Where is... Oh, that's what... Yeah, here's one we prepared earlier. Gross, gross. That is not a way I like to have done things, but it is a way that we have done things. So in here is a place where we can actually have 3 assemblers making batteries. 3 assemblers, 3 chem plants making batteries. It's going to be fine. Don't ask questions. We can have a place where acid happens, and the acid pipe was... Where are these things? They're down here. Yeah, I don't really want to try and squirrel pipes in between there. Is that true? Maybe we could squirrel some lubricant pipes, because lubricant is going to the other side of the base, because that's where the engines are. This is all side-loaded elsewhere anyway, so we're not particularly concerned. Maybe we also want to do another damage research. We've done all the damage research. Oh, we can get a combat shotgun. Let's get some speed, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that we would like but don't have any particular plans for. Yeah, bring this down through here. Okay, acid into the batteries. Batteries are being manufactured. Very exciting. Yeah, because of where we put that underground, whatever. Okay. So we've got another belt that we would like to figure out how to get to the other side of the base. I've got red ammo, which we will now be using as the kind of ammo that we do stuff with. I reckon we can probably get the lubricant through here. This is not even the worst thing we've done today. And then I guess it's going to be at the top of the build, so we could actually... We kind of want it back here. It does feel like we maybe are approaching the ability to have bots reasonably soon. Where is this gonna... Okay, it's not. Lubricant is getting there. We are still... Maybe we don't have... How would we get a surplus of green chips? Okay. What we're going to do at this point, we're going to open up these buffers a bit, because we're going to have a bunch of things that need green circuits. Maybe it's just we're not manufacturing... Oh yeah, it's straight up going to be we're not manufacturing enough, isn't it? Can I have... I actually needed to keep that box. This box we don't need. Yeah, because we're only putting half a belt... We're only putting half a belt of copper into these green chips, which means we are going to have less than half a belt of green chips coming out, because it's never 1-to-1. And we are trying to use... Actually, not a full belt of green chips, but whatever, don't worry about it, it's fine. We want this pipe of lubricant to run somewhere over here, and then we can do some engine stuff. And then we just need to get the batteries in, which if we put... the batteries on... It's actually this belt here, isn't it? How can we spaghetti? That is not quite going to work. How can we spaghetti? That's also... We are still going to need this side loading. But then that's gonna... Yeah, we need to get this belt of batteries somehow onto the top half of this belt of steel. And we can do this with... Can we do this with the inserters? If you don't exist there, and we move this... Actually, we didn't need to move that back, did we? But we can jump the... This is fine. Don't worry about it. You worry too much. We now have... Yeah, we've already taken the bullets off here. The stone was already going somewhere else down here, with a little bit of steel. We're making a lot of wall. That's fine. Oh wait, did we have any spare steel? Because, yeah, such a pretty messy inventory. Okay, with the amount of... Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of steel left over for the roboports we want to build. We're also... Really? We are getting through the blue research, so we're just going to continue lining up things that... That's actually all we need to get... please click on the silo. Click on the silo research. Yeah, that's all the things we need to get to build the silo. Wild. Okay. So we should now have batteries on the same line, which is very nice. That's one of the things we need. And between that and this belt of lubricant, other than the fact that we are not getting all the green chips through, we're kind of leaning on this buffer to fill up the green chips over here so we can get enough red chips. But the red chips are slowly building? Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Keep building. I tell everyone else to not worry about things. I should also not worry about things. We're going to go underground here so we can get the green chips in this way. We're going to have... Yeah, the electric engines on this side. I was wondering about where the lubricant is, but I think it's going to just do something like that as well. We want this to go underground so we can bring a pipe of lubricant that we prepared earlier, and we are within kind of a stone's throw of having bots, which is nice. I reckon 4 assemblers on bots is going to be fine. What else? I mean, do we want... I've changed my mind. We're going to do 5 because we are thinking about doing some yellow science with this as well. Although I should have also noticed that we are going to need these inserters. They are pretty important. Okay. Get this belt in the right place. That was not the right place. Okay, so we've got a way of making electric engines. They are going to end up back on this belt over here, and now we can have a place where we make a whole bunch of drone frames. We made 5, so we probably want like 8. Let's go to 11, because I don't think we have the battery production for this, do we? Never mind. Things to worry about later. Because we're thinking about using this for yellow science as well. We're going to do all of these guys, and then there was, yeah, a weird thing at the top, don't worry about it. If we bring up these belts, yeah, here is a place where we can have roboport manufacture, which is still super important. We need the roboports. We need to not be handcrafting the roboports. Do I have enough stuff? Can I have... I would like just 1 fast inserter. Can I get that fast inserter without going back to the mall? The answer is yes. Okay, we also will need, and I think that we're just going to put this over here as well, we're going to need a variety of boxes. Actually, this is, yeah, we're going to start by needing, yeah, these are the boxes we're going to use for the logistics stuff. We've got different kinds of chips here that we can make them here as well, but we also can't handcraft any of them because lazy bastard. We are closing in on not necessarily needing all of those anymore. Okay, if we have here is a position that we can be making construction bots. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to space this episode, but we are going to be in a position to be close to space this episode. Okay, I almost handcrafted one of those, of which we've got a couple of slots. Yeah, sure, whatever. You can have the frames. When we get a roboport, we can put them here in between. The thing we still need mostly is prod mods. We do not have the oil to be happy about the number of red chips we make. Is that true? We're just going to press the correct buttons. So these red chips are building up a little bit, which I like. I don't want the sulfur. I did want you to be able to make... do you have... Yeah, wooden box here. You will also need this kind of green chip. And then we're just going to hand feed a bunch of stuff, and we should be able to get out the provider chests we need. And so now we can have a roboport here. Can we have a second roboport? We can have a second roboport. Can we have... Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff in my inventory that I would rather not have. That just gave away a bunch of pipe, which we don't really care about. Okay, one more roboport. Oh, and then I've got the roboport in my inventory as well. So we are prioritizing red chips into the blue science, but then we are also making roboports after that, which is super cool because now we've got a way of putting roboports in the network. So we have a roboport network. We have, yeah, this is just the charging of the roboports, isn't it? Yeah, we're fine. We have 14 construction roboports. Yeah, we have, you know, some small number of roboports, which is fine. We like that a lot. We need to worry about getting this stuff into the mall. We haven't really deliberately left space for roboports in particularly many of these places. Yeah, get out of my inventory. But we would like provider chests for actually all of this stuff, isn't it? We need a ton of provider chests. And then we also need the robots to be building those things. And we are at, you know, nearly an hour and a half into the episode, which is fine. Okay, do we... Oh, 46. Yeah, you actually need to be... Go back to iron chests for a bit, because I didn't actually need all this many provider chests. What I really needed was a couple of storage chests. But with these provider chests, we would like to be providing wall. Okay, so you guys aren't in build range. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with it later. More belt, more pipes, these inserters, other kinds of inserters in underground belt. All of this stuff just needs to be in the network, and I didn't realize we quite had the number of boxes sitting around that we do. And then at this point we've got, yeah, 21. You're going to pivot to storage boxes because we're going to need some of these as well. Not many, not as many. That's going to be enough? Sure. Okay, you're going to go back to provider boxes because that's probably the thing we need most of. And red chips are going to go in the roboport manufacturer because we've still got a bit of roboport manufacture to do? Probably, yeah. Okay, I wanted some of these storage chests. I don't know where we're going to do like a main mall thing, but we're up to 70 bots. This is successful. One of the things we need is storage somewhere, and I think we're just going to say, you know what, storage can be here. We're going to put some generic storage there. I only wanted one, but then I missed, and so we've got 3. This is going to be storage specifically for wood. And then we are going to make 4 stacks of power poles. We would also like these guys to be logistics boxes. We would like more Roboport support in just random places. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. And then... Is the oil the next thing we kind of need to work on? Are we getting speed modules out? We're not making all of the plastic, but it's actually green chips, which is also prod mods because of this stuff. So I think what we actually need to do, and we happen to be right next to it, is figure out, and it might actually be this easy. Wait, no, it's not because of this belt. Can you go underground so that we can squirrel this in a different place here? But then we would need to go underground here. You don't need to be so far forwards. You can be here. Does that help? Because what I would like to do... That does kind of help. We need to use one of these red undergrounds, because I wanted to be able to put additional green chips on the inside of this belt, for which we can get a splitter here and go like that, and we have done it. We have now topped up the green chips going into the red chips from this source of green chips in here, which is super fine. We are complaining about not having roboports. Okay, these guys are actually filled with steel, which is we're just going to throw into these engines. This means that more steel will drift past, which means that the roboports will get it. It's fine. Okay. So yeah, so we need to go and solve the plastic problem now, because I believe we have solved the green chips problem. We should be getting, yeah, we actually want prod mods in here, and then so that's going to grab any prod mods that are left over after the red chips fill up the blue science, but they also won't because we're making roboports instead. Okay, so we probably just need more things on red chips, which we also don't have the oil for, so maybe that is what we do now. We have 13 pump jacks. The outsides of our cloud are looking pretty fine, and then I think we go after this oil, one of these 2 oils, and then we bring these back here. Do I have radar? Do I have radar? I would like some radar. We're also short generally on... Where is... Here's radar. Oh, we've got, we could have flamethrowers as well. Fascinating. Yeah, we're just going to have a couple of radar. We don't need a huge number of radar. I've got a tier 1 assembler, which I would rather not have. Grid is holding up fine. Yeah, give me these radar. I don't have any fuel. So wait, we've done rocket fuel, we've got LDS. There's actually no coal around here at all, because this is the blue science part of the base. We could go and set up... I'm actually tempted to set up rocket fuel, just so that we can say that we have set up one of the vital parts of the rocket solo build, which also... I mean, we are circuit conditioning the cracking, so it should work, and then I reckon... Yeah, why not? I don't really see any downsides with this. Over here, we're going to say solid fuel... 4 is going to be enough, and then because this is... Oh no, wait. It's 1 to 2 the other way, isn't it? It's 1 to 2 this way. If we're making the rocket fuel here, which is gross but will fit. We will make it fit. Yeah, these 2 types of oil. We can go underneath here. We've actually got this lines up in nearly a decent position, so we're going to go for it. And then I think we just box this solid fuel and figure out, yeah, box this rocket fuel and figure out what to do with it later. And then be very excited that we are doing bot builds of rocket fuel components. That's very nice. Do we also want to start building... Oh, more tanks. I've forgotten that I had tanks there. We don't need these grenades anymore, so I think we just have bots move these to storage, but I've also clipped out the power poles there, so let's put power poles back. I don't exactly remember where that was connected. And then we did say that we were going to have this belt here be coal. And so now we have coal as a direct feed into the grenades, into the military science in the base. And then I think the other thing we want to do is, this is outpost coal. And we currently don't have outpost coal supporting the smelting. And now we have outpost coal supporting the smelting. So yeah, we're going to go input priority from the... Is that true? No, we're not going to do input priority at all. Okay. Yeah, we are coming up on roughly how far we would like the episode length to be. We are kind of close to being in space, but also not really. I would like, and we can fit, a assembler that will make landfill. I don't know if we're necessarily going to do anything with this landfill, but whatever. That's not really what we're about. We just wanted to also be making the landfill. And then, okay, 40 power poles is not enough power poles for... Did we put wood in the general storage? We might have put wood in general storage. We put coal and no wood in general storage. Okay. Where and what else are we building? And if it's this iron, do we want bots to get some of these trees out the way? And then if there's stone around the place, and do we have we have put no stone in the general storage, which means if we find the stone and it's here, we can have a storage chest that looks for stone, and then we can deletion planner. How did that not take? What did I click on? Did I not set a quality filter? Okay, it's fine. Yeah, we can now deletion planner stone from around the map. Yes, we can deletion planner some rocks from around the map and get that stuff delivered directly to the smelting, which might be walls, might be landfill. Are we going to need more of these? We have... Yeah, we are online with bots. We are doing a bots cleanup thing. Should we also... I guess we are on our way to getting a build things with bots achievement, where if I was the next power grid, where would I be, and why would I be down here? I guess let's leave enough space for 2 belts. I don't know what we're putting, I don't know what we're fueling this with yet. But this is mostly about, hey, can we just have bots with jobs? Because bots like having jobs. They yearn for the jobs. This is also way more roboports than we need. Whatever, not concerned. One over here. Yeah, we need... I don't think we have the resource anywhere near the resources that we need. To be, yeah, especially if we just kicked off the rocket fuel build, then we are not going to have the light oil that we were previously cracking. This is the wrong lake that I'm looking at on the map. Yeah, we are not going to have the light oil that did not connect. We're not going to have as much plastic because is there a big forest in the way? Okay. I guess that's useful for when we're building power poles somewhere else. For the moment, that is not the power poles we need. We need to be bringing power poles around this side of this big forest. Let's check that we actually did successfully connect that to the base. We have. Yeah, we aren't going to be making as many red chips now that we've dropped the rocket fuel because we're going to be cracking all of the light oil, but whatever. We're going to solve this problem by adding this oil, and there's not a whole lot of oil here. Is it just these 4? 5. There's one down here. Okay. Bots are probably just complaining about not having roboports and a lab, but as soon as they get the roboports, they are going to also be complaining about not having a whole pile of other stuff as well. I did want to leave a radar over here. Let's find out what else is generally in this direction, and then we have a whole lot of pipe. I think we're going to need to extend the steel as well. Yeah, because we've got one pump out of this is going to be fine, and that just means we're going to be collecting this stuff while we are still waiting for me to get this connection in. Hey, we're using red ammo because it's cheaper now because we're space age, and there's still some landmines from where we blasted that nest. That was a while ago. We were hoping to get more things done, but kind of haven't. It's fine. I don't think we want the pump in this position, because pushing stuff back to the base is cool, but also we might need that pump further down here to separate these networks so the fluid continues to flow, because 2.0 fluid things. Yeah, if we could get... I'm also not sure where we're going to be putting more smelting, because we definitely want more steel. We want more steel for just generally more steel for roboports and things we already have, but we also want how far away is this? 111, 175? Yeah, I think we're going to drop a pump here. Yeah, we want more steel for purple science things, we want more steel for silo things, we want more steel to be able to keep up with everything else we're doing. I did have engines, didn't I? I had engines in my inventory that I gave to the electric engines to get rid of them, and I'm looking at the direction that I'm pushing this oil and deciding that I would rather take it down first, so that we can leave this space free for more building, because there is also some iron there that we might like. And I think we're going to need another pump somewhere in here as well to separate these networks. Are we happy that we've mostly got everything we wanted to done today? Maybe. Let's get rid of these guys as well. Let's have another one of them through here. Does this mean we have... Yeah, we've still not built all the roboports that we asked for. But that's fine. We're just going to keep working on it. I wanted pumps, for which I wanted engines, for which I am presuming that we have a couple of these guys sitting around here. Yep, cool, great. We still have not made any pod mods there. Things that don't feel fantastic. Okay. Give me this pump. Pump is going to go down here. And I don't think we have... broken this network too badly. I think we still have a ton of space to be able to go up here, connect this. Network still works. Oil's still happening. Connect this corner. Yeah, all of this iron running out is also a thing we might want to deal with, but it's probably not a huge problem. And then we connect this oil in here, and it's not even... Were we even running? Now we will have the more gas that we wanted. Because we're also trying to build up this light oil supply past whatever we are turning into rocket fuel, and then maybe we're already halfway through rocket silo research. That is also not what I expected. Oh well, we're definitely going to take it. Yeah, maybe this is... Actually, I think the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to give Spots some more jobs. Here is half a steel lane. And there's some bits we want to tweak with this, but over here is some iron, and over here is a place where we have build range, and yeah, we should in theory have solved this plastic. Maybe. We're not going to worry about that. We are going to worry about where we put in, how we get fuel into this. Is there... There's no coal genuine in this direction. I think we could take a belt of this coal and run it across the top of this base. I think that's going to work out just fine. And then that means we can... Yeah, things we want include steel. Let's have it this way around. I think we start about here and flip and put it here. And then we need these outputs. This all, other than the fact that we don't have the fuel. There we go. That's the achievement I was kind of hoping we would be getting with this. But we can have bots pick up all of this. Yeah, bots picking up all of those trees. We want to fuel the input inserters. We want to... not there, here as it turns out. Get this... Yeah, so now we should have... How do we do that? What happened there? Here's a place where we can put a full belt of iron ore into steel. And then I reckon we just do that. Let's do that again. We'll slap that here. We still need to get this to be... Are we just running it across the top? I think we're just running it across the top. This is going to be a place where we put some fuel. Bots can work on that. We are not getting roboports because of steel, which is a problem I can help bots solve. I think we also want to limit the amount of wall we're making. I don't think we need that much wall, which also I don't think we need... I mean, this is a concrete thing, isn't it? Oh, but we've also just opened up this construction again. Okay, so I've got... Maybe we do want to be figuring out how to get that into the rest of the base, whatever. Okay, so I've got concrete construction materials because the silo is progressing. We don't have blue chips, we don't have silo steel, we don't have low density structure. Okay, we're not actually short for iron at all. What was I down here for? Oh, I wanted these things so that I could take this steel. Actually, it's just this box here, isn't it? But I did actually want to be more specific and take this steel down to the roboports, because we've got a couple of... you've got... It's one red chip per chest, isn't it? I remember these being more green circuits, but apparently we're not doing more green circuits here either. Okay, whatever. Actually, these guys, we're going to take and make prod mods out of them. Yeah, we got chests here. Actually, I think we can recover this entire thing. It's not that one. It's fine. Just put the boxes in here. Electric engines can get in there. Batteries can also get in there. Steel, have the steel. I think we're going to set up concrete and then be happy that we have achieved things today. What was I? I was bringing something else back here as well. It wasn't the power grid. It wasn't. Maybe it was just... Do we have... Okay, we actually might need... we actually might need another thing on sulfur. Oh no, this is just the belt backing up, isn't it? We don't actually need the sulfur. This is just... This is just the belt filling up because it's going into the blue science, but never mind. I also... Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I was taking around. These red chips we wanted to turn into prod mods. We have some red chips for the prod mods now. Not many. Where is that assembler? Yeah, this prod mods assembler here, of which, yeah, the roboports are currently lower priority than the prod mods. So if we do this, prod mods will now grab red chips over the blue science, which I like because it means we've got prod mods. You're not even... Wouldn't even module that. Oh, well, never mind. Rocket silo research has finished. Okay. Prod mod the plastic, prod mod the sulfur. Sulfur and acid are expensive things. Prod mod these green chips, turn these green chips into assembler 2s, and yeah, I guess we tag it from the recipe. Prod mod these gears, prod mod these gears. Gears are important. Prod mod all these green chips because... Okay, we're not actually struggling there at all, were we? We've got a pile of green chips. Yeah, that is where we're going to call this. Oh no, we were going to set up concrete. We're going to do that next time. We've got the rocket silo research. We've got the concrete done. We've got another 4.5 hours. We're definitely going to get this in time for the 8-hour achievement. It's going to be fine. We're definitely also, unless we seriously mess something up, going to get the lazy bastard thing done. Probably we should change the tech. Now we're going to do that next time as well. Yeah, good times. The base is developing.